Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I have a very important video for you, and this is about the collapsing of the artificial timelines for twin flames, and just in general the artificial timelines are collapsing in order for us to come into union, in order for us to first come into our inner union, to make this masculine and feminine merge within ourselves, and then we can merge with all our soul aspects, including our divine counterpart. We merge in that energetic field. We come back into the oneness. So this is really the goal here. This is really the mission. And what's preventing all of that from happening is a lot of things that are artificially inserted. And some of these things are these artificial timelines that are playing out, and these are done on purpose. And this is a lot of the 3D timelines. They are actually artificial timelines. They're not real. They're based on artificial technology and lower consciousness and frequency nets, ego structure. All of that drives artificial timelines. This means that these timelines are essentially, they're not true, they're not real. This is how I see them when I look into these timelines and what's actually playing out in the 3D. So this is why I don't concentrate on 3D. The 3D doesn't even matter in this whole process of union, and you have to see beyond that, because you have to see it from the quantum perspective. You are here to break through the matrix. If you are on this journey, you're really here to see beyond that. So my work, a lot of what I do, what I teach, is based on quantum theory, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and generally, looking at what's going on a planetary level, because it does affect, and it is affecting, our union, and it's affecting us, and the polarization, the 3D duality, all of that is preventing the union from happening. So we need to look at the bigger picture, and that's what I like to look into as to why we're having such a hard time getting into our union, getting the union. We're here fighting for our soul. We're here fighting for our union. Most of us are here on these missions to get in alignment to that, because that is our true frequency. That is us embodied fully within. That's our home frequency. So anything lower than that is not true. So this is why I say that anything that's like below that, that's not union, it's not really true. It's not of the truth. And so if you are coming into union, if you're coming into the inner union, you're going to feel that truth within. You're going to feel it in your heart. You're going to know that is your home frequency. That is you. That is your blueprint. That's your divine blueprint. That's your organic timeline that's being projected now into the hologram. So anything less than that is those old timelines, it's the artificial timelines, it's those 3D perpetuating timelines of karma and all this old stuff that we're currently clearing in order to come into 0 point. And so all of us are doing this work, and I go into a lot of this more extensively on my Patreon, because there's so much to cover in terms of the quantum physics and all of that. And so this is something that I really focus on Patreon, to explain more as to what's going on the planetary level in general. I share a lot of my downloads. I have a lot of information that comes in for this process. So, the process right now is truly to get all your soul parts back into one, into wholeness, to integrate all of that, because that's what you're ultimately here doing on Ascension. You're trying to bring all your soul parts, all that fragmented part of you, you're trying to bring it back into one. And so with your twin, with your counterpart, they are you. So you have to merge everything back into one, into the wholeness that you always were. And if you're not in that wholeness, this is what creates us feeling totally lost, totally depressed, totally sad, and feeling like we are missing a piece of ourselves, because we are missing a piece of ourselves. We're missing all these fragmented parts of our soul that get stuck in these different time loops. And all of that has to be brought into the now, into the 0 point. So all of this that you're doing on this journey is really reclaiming aspects of your soul, fighting for your soul, fighting for your union. This is not something that is, this is you. You're just fighting for your own soul back, essentially, because this matrix has separated us from our soul, has separated us from our true divine blueprint, and is causing all this perpetuating of old timeline loops, artificial timelines, frequency fences, to lower the consciousness and to not allow us to come into the oneness, into the union, to allow us to then expand into higher stations of our soul identity. So this is really what's going on the planet. And the twin flame, why you are in this connection, is because you are coming back into that energetic oneness. So you have to merge with your twin on all levels. And that's what you're doing with the inner union. That's what you're building. That's what we're coming back to. And this is really when you achieve that inner union and you achieve that merge back with your soul fully. And then that is when your twin or your counterpart, your divine masculine, also gets activated on the journey more, or goes more into their ascension to then catch up to you, to then align to that inner union, to align to union. So the process is really about merging back into one, as I always talk about that all the time. So today I wanted to go over a little bit what's happening in terms of this timeline collapsing that we're going through. I've talked about collapsing the old 3D timelines. This is the same thing basically, and collapsing these artificial timelines and things that are not true. This is what we're collapsing, okay? Old stories. And a lot of the times, this is what the divine masculine, he's really trapped in these old timeline loops, artificial timelines. And this is why, the feminine, she's coming into the inner union, she's shifting all of that for him as well. So this is really important to also understand in this journey, that whatever the feminine is doing, whatever you're doing to align back to your truth, is aligning him back to his truth too. Aligning him back to the home frequency, and collapsing any artificial timelines that are in between the union, because that is what's happening for a lot of us who are in separation, who, we have a lot of issues with the union, with the polarization. There's a lot of things going on in between the union. There's the separation factors going on, and those are those artificial timelines that have to be collapsed, and that are collapsing when you continue doing the soul work on this journey to come into inner union. So we are right now going through a very accelerated ascension, and this accelerated ascension is something that we're moving through right now really powerfully, and it will continue to amplify. And what this is doing is that it's really dismantling a lot of the old structures. A lot of this old matrix is collapsing. This old matrix is collapsing within you first, and then it's collapsing outside of you. So all these grids and things like that are right now being dismantled by the sun. The sun is actually dismantling the magnetic fields. The old magnetic fields are dismantling. This is dismantling all the artificial timelines. And this is really important to understand, because this is something that's, affecting all of us, affecting these old timelines that, we've been stuck in, or your divine masculine's been stuck in, or, all of this is being really dismantled very fast. So everyone's getting a realignment right now, and the ascension right now is very accelerated. So you may be feeling that already, because we've been going through a really accelerated time. Like, we've been going through a lot of this dark night of the soul energy, lots of heaviness, lots of purging, lots of releasing, to really come into the 0 point, to really come into inner union, to come into your union, because that is your truth. That's your home frequency. That's your organic timeline. That's your organic frequency. And this is what you're here to come back to. Anything that's lower than that is not actually true. And so what you're aligning back to is the truth, your truth of your soul. You're coming into union. Union is your highest timeline. It is what you're here to attain. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're doing on this journey to come back into that alignment. So this is really what I've been shown so many times, and what I've been, the downloads I'm getting constantly now is about this artificial timeline collapsing, which I will get more into on Patreon. I want to do a whole thing on this and how this is really happening at this point in our process. And this is really important to understand. So we're really going through on a very accelerated ascension right now, like I said, and we are moving through this very fast, very quickly. A lot of things are shifting right now in the timelines. A lot of things are collapsing very fast. So this is what I'm saying, that it's a very accelerated time period. And what we're essentially going back to is we are going back to restoring our divine blueprint of union. So your union, this union template, this union that you are going back to is your original divine blueprint. We were created to have a counterpart. We came in with a counterpart, and we're restoring that divine blueprint right now with Ascension, so we can come into our union. We can come into the energetic union first of all, which is that inner union, and then we manifest our divine union. So we're really restoring our divine blueprint. And that is what we're doing on this journey right now. And this is the most important thing that's occurring. And because the union is this is the truth, is the truth. This is your organic blueprint that you came in with. Okay. So we all came in with a specific organic blueprint, and we have a specific soul blueprint that we're here to activate. And the union is that blueprint. Okay, so that's what's going to manifest everything. That's your highest timeline. And this is what you're here to step into. That's the new earth frequency, new earth timelines. All of that is opening up as we continue this process through Ascension. So the other thing is that we're dismantling these artificial timelines. These artificial timelines are collapsing right now. This is really important because this is what needs to go in order to move forward, in order to come into your organic blueprint. So we are right now, through the sun rays, through this great solar event that we're going through, this is all realigning everything back to the organic original blueprints, okay? And this is really important to understand because everything's going back to natural order and organic timelines, okay? Organic timelines of your soul, because your soul is that natural organic timeline, which is going to play out as soon as you're starting to align to that. And those are the timelines that you're stepping into. Those are the higher timelines. So that is the timeline of union. The timeline of union for you is those organic timelines, which we are right now restoring within ourselves as we collapse all of the stuff that's not true. That's all of the stuff that's not us, all the ego structure, all these things, all the things I talk about in the soul work and the 4 layers of soul work. All those 4 elements are being dissolved, and once they dissolve more and more, that is when you step into that true alignment. You come back into reconnection with your soul. You start to activate higher. You come back into union. That's when that union timeline starts to manifest, okay? So this is really important. We are really going through a process right now of really coming back to the natural order of things and organic timelines. So this is happening, and this is, happening right now as we go deeper in this process. So it's a really accelerated time, and the divine masculines, they will be catching up to your shifts that you have made. So the feminine is aligning back to this organic timeline, the union, everything, and the masculine is shifting to meet her in that alignment. So the feminine goes home first, the masculine follows. So that is what I wanted to talk about today in terms of the timelines right now and the artificial timelines that are being dismantled, which is really important to understand because this is something that we've been stuck in for so long, and this is what's causing the separation, the physical separation and the internal separation. And this is what we're dismantling by going through the process of really going through the soul work, doing all of that within and coming back to our true alignment. So I that's all I wanted to cover for today. And thank you so much for being here, for watching, for listening. I send you all so much love, peace, and healing. And I will speak to you in the next video.